Good morning and welcome back to Soul. I hope that you're having a wonderful week and I hope that you are enjoying at least a little bit of sunshine. You can probably tell that I'm definitely a summer person, always wishing you sunshine and happy vibes, which of course is not always going to be the case, and that's totally fine. But today I am very grateful that you're joining me, and I'd like to explore the idea that practice is more effective than power, which basically means steady improvement is so much more valuable than intensity. And I know that we usually talk about this from a consistency perspective, as we have done on this series before, like going to the gym once very intensely is not as good as going every day. But today I want to talk about something a little different than the idea of consistency. That's obviously always going to be key, but it's about changing your mindset about things that maybe you're pushing a lot in. And what I mean by that is, in our world, we very much glorify speed and force and, how to get rich quick and how to do this and how to do that. And it's easy to believe that if you just, try very hard, push very hard, hit very hard, then you're going to succeed. But true success comes from the practice, the thoughtful improvement, and the willingness to refine our approach. And let me give you a very brief example for you to understand what I'm trying to say. Imagine you're at an arcade and you're playing that classic game where you have to hit a target as hard as you can to get the highest score. So a lot of people are just going to keep hitting it harder and harder, expecting that they're going to win. But actually, if you're not necessarily strong enough or able to get the technique right, you're just going to get tired and you're not actually going to hit the high score. If you're not taking time to practice, to adjust your technique and improve your aim, all that intensity that you're putting in won't actually help you get a better score. It's not the strength of a single hit that wins the game, but the skill and accuracy that come from practice and refinement. So let's apply the same thing to life. Take the example of applying for a job at a company you really want to work for. And this is something I saw firsthand with an old friend of mine. He was always applying to jobs at the company, and it's a fantastic company and he's really, really good at his job. But what happened is that he was just tempted to apply for every single position that would come out just because he really wanted to work for that company. But the truth is, you're better off investing your time in practice and improvement. And what that means here is understanding what's the skill set that they require and how you can refine it. It's maybe meeting people from the company, networking, understanding their culture. By focusing on the quality and making meaningful connections, you're then improving your actual chances of getting a job. So it's not about how many applications you submit, but how well prepared you are when the right opportunity comes along. You can apply the same thing anywhere, right? Maybe there was this romantic comedy I watched during COVID times, during lockdown, where the guy was just going on as many dates as possible. And it's not about that, right? It's not about just putting all of this. Obviously, your chances are going to be higher, but he wasn't necessarily doing the inner work. He wasn't actually improving himself. He was always a bad person to have on a date. So really what I want you to take away from this is to embrace the idea that practice beats power and quantity, right? And that steady improvement matters more than intensity. Take the time to learn, to refine, to build your skills, and of course, focus on quality over quantity. Please don't be discouraged if your progress feels slow. Real, lasting change always comes from those small, thoughtful steps. And remember, we always do this step by step, day by day. You just need to be willing to practice and improve and to show up again and again and again. We go back to the consistency point. Remember, it's not about how hard you hit, but how thoughtfully you approach it. In the end, slow and steady will always win the race. And with that, I wish you a great rest of the week. I was going to say day, but also week. And thank you again for joining me. I'll see you next week on Soul.